All right, so tonight it was just on my mind to talk about something really important that I feel like sometimes we miss the boat on. And it is problems that we have or had before Beachbody or continue to have that Beachbody and this community are solving for us, because I think it's really important that we get really clear on it, because the big picture, it's obvious what problem we solve, right? It's like health and fitness. But until you become really specific with the problems that you have overcome using our meal plans and our fitness programs and our community, like nobody is going to feel connected with you. So once you get really clear on how it's helped you, you can begin to craft your posts around that. You can talk to people around that, and you can get really specific on who you're able to help. Of course, you're always going to help people who have different pain points than you, but when you get really clear on how it's helped you very specifically, people will trust you more, number one. And if you're specific, then they will see how it can also solve their problems, even if it's different than theirs. So you might have done something like this on a team call before. Maybe I've come live and had you do something like this before, but I'm telling you, the activity I'm going to have you do is a good gut check really to do, probably at least quarterly with your business, so you can see how you're growing and changing. So I want you to create like a T-chart, a before and after. Mine looks super messy. I will show you, but you're going to be like, that looks crazy. So there's a T, and then I left space over here to do some writing. Do before and after. And then on the sides here, what I've put is I wanted to get really specific about, I guess, like the sections, just kind of separate them out on how it's helped you. So I just put mental, emotional, physical, financial, and social, because you really have to break it down to get really specific. And especially whenever you're talking about crafting posts around your story, or talking about your story or your pain points on your Instagram, on your story, or even in conversations with people, you have to be really clear on how you struggled before and how you're overcoming or have overcome now. And just so you know, you will always be overcoming. There will be something in your journey that you're still overcoming. So you always have these things to talk about that you have overcome. And then you should also always have these things that you're currently working on with your health and fitness, your mental and emotional, spiritual, financial, like there's always something, right? So the first one I really want you to think about, I'm just gonna kind of walk you through mine. And then like as I'm talking, feel free to be working and writing, because I'm sure I'll spark things in you. But I just want to walk you through it. And if you need to take time after this call to do it, great. I want to use this time for questions and answers, stuff like that. And really just like a work time to brainstorm and really get clear on who you can help. So for me, before Beachbody, let's talk about mental first. That's what I have first on my list. My mental state about nutrition was that I had to eat low-calorie foods, and I thought diet foods were healthy. And I'm like, literally, I believe that to be true. That because baked Cheetos were low calorie, they were good for me. And because diet soda had 0 calories, it was good for me. That alone is a post. And that alone would impact so many women out there who are crunching on baked Cheetos as they watch me and drinking diet sodas every single day for lunch. Like, you get that specific. What did you snack on? What did you come home from work and put into your mouth? What did you pack into your lunch every single day that you know didn't fuel your body, but you didn't know any better? You could also do things that you thought about exercise. So for me, I didn't know how to exercise. I could go on and on about that story as well, that I ran because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. So on my after side, I've learned, and Beachbody has solved the problem for me because of our nutrition plans. And again, there are a million posts in all of this for me, that real food is healthy food. And I don't count calories anymore. Like, there are so many stories in there, so much for me to say, because I learned that the food on this earth, like fruits and vegetables and lean proteins, are what are gonna make me feel the best. And as far as exercise goes, I didn't even have to learn how to exercise because I pressed play. But that'd be an awesome post too, is like, I didn't know what to do, and now I just press play and I follow the professional who does know. The second one is emotional. And the whole point in this is to get people to connect onto the details of your story. Because we all offer the same thing, you guys. But the problems that Beachbody and coaching and these programs and these nutrition programs have solved for me, that's what's going to attract people to me. And it should be different than you, most likely. I mean, some of our details may be the same because you attract people like you, but a lot of them are going to be different. Emotional, for me, all I could feel and think about really was I wanted to feel skinny. I did not care about being healthy whatsoever. I worked out because I wanted to feel skinny and I wanted to feel attractive and I wanted to be the smallest girl in the room. After being in this community for 2 years, it didn't even take 2 years. It took probably 6 months to 9 months. I truly stopped wanting to be skinny, and I recognized and learned and felt like I just wanted to be healthy. And the emotional release of that, to like get rid of the pressure to be the skinniest person in the room, especially when my body is not created to be the skinniest girl in the room. Talk about an emotional release. Like, to know that I'm working towards healthy and strong rather than being skinny and I could never be skinny enough. Like, gosh, I could again come up with a million posts for my emotional health because of Beachbody and because I've surrounded myself with women who believe something different. My mind started to believe something different too and feel something different. Physical, of course. There are a million things probably we could say about our physical selves before we started. What problems did you have physically before? So one, I didn't write this down, but I just thought of it. I would go to my closet and I would put on 15 different outfits and look in the mirror and rip myself apart every single time. That doesn't really happen anymore. And my body's not that much different. It's actually really related to my mental and emotional health, I think. But physically, I did not feel confident at all. I would put on 15 outfits and change, and now I put on one outfit or two outfits, and I leave the house feeling confident about myself. Also, before, I only ran, I kind of touched on that a little bit, and I actually didn't really like it, and I didn't get results. Like, I can remember, and there are so many stories within here that I could share about seeing pictures of myself on the beach after I had run for months on end, and I was still like, why don't I have results? And then after, I do full body workouts from home, and I actually get results. That's huge. I was spinning my wheels before physically, getting nowhere, losing a few pounds whenever I would start over and start to run again. But my body didn't really change. I wasn't getting stronger. I wasn't getting leaner. I would lose, 3 or 4 pounds, but I wouldn't look different and I wouldn't really feel different. And it was all led by shame and guilt for me. Also with the physical, for me, I was never consistent. Never in my life have I been consistent at working out. But when I became a coach, I have now been consistent for 2.5 years straight. Like, I tried for so long to figure out how to work out consistently. And honestly, like, some years I didn't even care about it. I didn't want to work out consistently because my mental and emotional health wasn't there. Like, all of this is so intertwined together. But after Beachbody, I'm consistent for 2.5 years. Do you know how many people out there have never been consistent in a workout routine for 2.5 years? Like, probably most people, because our society is so crazy. Like, our society as a whole doesn't understand, and they're doing it for really surface level reasons. And I've learned, because of this community and because of my consistency and because of other women who have poured into me, that my health is worth it year round. Like, that is a mind-blowing transformation. Mind-blowing. A life-changing transformation. Like, I would probably die to know the years that it's added to my life to take care of myself year round. Seriously, I can remember going to, I don't remember if it was my yearly lady appointment or if it was my screening at school, but it was in a season where I wasn't working out at all, and they ask you all of those questions and then they tell you your risks, and I had to mark that I was working out 0 days a week. And because of that, I was high risk for every single thing on the list. I wasn't overweight. I didn't have any major health concerns, but because I had decided to quit 6 months out of every year, I put myself at high risk for every single thing they checked for. Like, it's insane. It's insane that I would do that to myself, but I didn't have a big enough reason why, and nobody was encouraging me to do it until I became a coach. And it's the one thing that solved my issue of inconsistency. And that can go for challengers or coaches. That's the thing with these before and after things. Like, these make amazing coach posts and they make amazing challenge group posts because for us, it's all intertwined. The next one is financial. Before coaching and before Beachbody, it's kind of weird for me too because I was never just a challenger. I've always been a coach. So you might have a different story if you've been a challenger for a little while before you were a coach. But before Beachbody, before coaching, I had zero plans to pay off debt. I didn't know how, and I didn't have goals. I just assumed and didn't care that I'd be paying on my debt for 30 years. Like, it did not cross my mind that I needed a different goal than that. But because of Beachbody, I've paid off $27,000 in my loans already. And I have this goal of when they're going to be paid off, and I'm disciplined with my finances. And I've cut off, oh my gosh, probably 27 years of paying on my loans because I decided to start coaching. Like, it's nuts. And then the last one is social. So before, I actually don't have like a huge social story because I didn't feel like I needed the social aspect, but golly, I appreciate the crap out of it. It's my favorite part. But when I really do think about it, I was missing my college community because whenever you are an adult and you leave that, it changes a little bit. And now, because of Beachbody, because of challenge groups, because of being a coach, I have community at my fingertips. You have no idea how many women are sitting alone at home right now, wishing that they had a group of women to be on a Zoom call with just to feel part of something. And then because I started coaching, my ability to travel, both opportunity and financial, is insane. Like, I've traveled and done so many things and stayed in so many random Airbnbs with strangers because I said yes to this opportunity. It's nuts. So I know that in this time that we have together tonight, you're not going to finish this. I would not expect you to finish this. But this week, I want you to make sure that you work on this and you come up with how Beachbody has solved the problems that you had before. If you are promoting right now for your challenge groups, that's what you focus on. It's how the fitness programs and the meal plans have changed you, how they've solved problems that you had, whether consistency or knowledge or accountability. How have they done that for you? If you're promoting for coaching, which I am switching to, side note here, if you don't have Success Club, you don't switch to promoting for coaching ever. That's my tip for you. In your conversations with people when you're promoting for challenge groups, always offer coaching, always offer the discount. Yes, that's great. But my best advice to you on this is hit Success Club 6 before you ever switch to coaching, because there are a lot more people out there who want to join your challenge groups than there are people who are ready to coach. That's just the reality. I don't switch to talking about coaching until I've hit Success Club 10. That's just a non-negotiable for me, which, by the way, I hit today, just by my goal. So the last thing I want you to do with this is then I folded it in half. Hopefully you have a big enough paper. And I put how on the top. And I started thinking, okay, I have these problems. We have these solutions. But how did it get to that point for me? And for everybody, it's going to be different. So I started thinking, I'm like, okay, before I truly believed with all my heart that low calorie and diet foods were healthy, and somewhere in there, I started knowing the truth and knowing that real food was fueling my body and baked Cheetos and diet soda was doing nothing for me. So I started thinking, like, in reality, how did that happen? And the only thing I could come up with every single one of these that I asked myself, and this is me, this doesn't have to be your answer, I just wrote big, community and a plan. For me, that was it. Community and a plan. But mostly for me, it was community. Hearing other women speak truth over and over and over again and recognizing that I was believing things that were untrue was a game changer for me. When you fill your social media with women who are fighting for their goals and fighting past negative mindsets and fighting for consistency in their own health and fitness, it's dang hard to give it up for yourself. And it's dang hard to stop or to continue believing lies when you hear so many women speaking truth. So that was what it was for me, and what it still is for me. I'm consistent because of my community and the plan. And yours might be a little bit different, but I think it's important to touch on all of these and know that your story, your problems, and the solutions, and your how is the most important thing you can share. People don't care about the fitness programs if they haven't changed you or helped you. People don't care about the community if it hasn't changed you or helped you. And they definitely don't care about a nutrition program if it has not changed you or helped you. So you have to be really clear on what this does for you. And maybe the best way to think about that is think about if Beachbody vanished tomorrow. If Beachbody vanished tomorrow, what would life look like for you? That's a big, scary question for me. Like really big. Because if all of you vanish tomorrow, I don't even believe in myself that I would keep it up. Like I don't believe in myself if Beachbody vanished that I would continue working out every single day and finish programs consistently for the next 2 years because I can't do it by myself. I just can't. And I don't want to do it by myself. I don't want to do anything by myself, but especially the really hard things in life, like, you know, deciding to start the work and finish it when it feels like you're going to die every day. I haven't even started that program, but I assume that's what it feels like. And you're not going to want to do those things alone, you know? Like, man, you have to be really clear on why this is important to you and what it's doing to impact your life, and then share those things consistently. People have to see that from you. It's really super important. I've heard that, Tiffany. I've heard it's amazing. Megan was bragging about it this weekend. Said it's intense, but amazing. Okay, does anybody want to share any of their T-chart, like problems that you had before Beachbody and ways that Beachbody has been the solution to what you struggled with?
Okay, so I'll go. I'm late to the game. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's a Tiff, you can go.
Okay,
oh,
sorry.
She muted.
So like missing part of the point because I was a little late because you didn't send out the 5-minute reminder. And I'm driving, so I'm super sorry. I think that the thing that I struggled with the most was finding enough value in myself to believe that working out and taking care of myself was something that was important. Just always reflecting back on the fact that me and Paige's very first conversation, I was like, oh yeah, I know I need to get my life together, but I'm just not going to right now. And so I think that with Beachbody and with surrounding myself with all of these positive people and just the community and the mindset growth and the personal development, it has definitely made me value myself significantly more.
That's huge. I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying about community. Like when you see so many other people doing the thing and changing because of it, it's really hard to stay the same. Haley, what were you going to say?
Okay, so I kind of have I've just been trying to make a list while you were talking. And so I started with nutrition, and I was kind of the same with the low fat stuff. So about reduced fat peanut butter, which is still my favorite peanut butter, but I thought it was healthy because it was reduced fat. Turns out it's not. I would do those 100-calorie snack packs because all through college I did MyFitnessPal and tried to do my calories, but it meant nothing. And so I would do the 100-calorie snack pack and think that, ooh, I had a super healthy snack that day. And so learning how to re-eat, I've never liked vegetables. So learning how to re-eat has been a big deal. And just knowing that my eating patterns have gone up and down depending on what's going on in my life. So I remember being in a low part in my life and I would start eating less and less and less. And then I remember at one point in my life, I would eat 2 bowls of cereal a day. I'd have one in the morning and one before I went to sleep. And I lost weight. Mm-hmm. It's because I wasn't eating, I wasn't eating and I didn't have any energy. And then I remember since I didn't have energy, I would drink those Monster energy drinks and I hated them. They taste gross. And so just even thinking about that time in my life and like how I did that it makes me sad for myself knowing that I wasted those months feeling so cruddy because I wasn't fueling my body. Or like I would have like 2 cookies a day, but that's all I'd eat. So yeah, I was losing weight, but I wasn't doing it in a healthy manner at all. And so I think that was a big deal nutrition wise. And the solution are the meal plans and the accountability. And I think part of the solution is like once you start eating better and actually eating, you start realizing how your energy and all that stuff can go up. And the more you feel that, you don't want to go back. And then I also put physical, like I was also never consistent. I did the Tone It Up. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but I was never consistent with that. I lived in Spain for a while. And I remember when I was in Spain, I could totally tell I was gaining some weight, but I would like go on these runs, but they weren't consistent. It didn't matter. I was eating like crap anyways, so it didn't do anything for me at all. I never got results. And I remember coming back from Spain and feeling like regretting because I gained weight instead of like appreciating that I was in Spain that time, like appreciating that I had that privilege to live and have fun. I was like, oh my God, I better go on this run that didn't do anything for me anyways. Does that make sense?
Yes, I hear so many.
I'm just kind of going through my list.
I hear so many amazing posts out of that, just like storytelling type of posts. Like I can imagine one with the first line of like, I was losing weight, but I wasn't getting healthier. Like that, I identify with that so much. Like just because you're getting smaller doesn't mean you're getting healthier. And I think so many women think that is true. I think that's such a strong storytelling point for you. And for me too. I've been smaller, definitely, but I wasn't healthier when I was smaller. So I think that's really, really good. The more you can get into your specifics, your details of your story, the more people connect and the more you just seem like a real trustworthy person. Anybody can sell a product, you guys. They can get Beachbody on demand on the internet. They don't need you to get that. They don't need you to get a workout. They can go to YouTube. They don't need you for the meal plans. Like they can, all of this is out there. You are what people need. Your story is what people need. Because anybody can sell a product. And also just selling products sucks. Like that's not fun. There's no emotional connection. Like there's no real impact if it's just about products. Your story must be ahead of you. Like your story is what leads you and your business. And if you're in a spot where it's like, I don't know, like I don't have a story, I'm not sure, then that probably means you're still in that stage where you need to be sharing what you're going through and how you're transforming and what you're overcoming. And there will be seasons like that. I feel like I'm in a new different season of where like, okay, I've been in for 2.5 years and I went into this weird dip of like, okay, I'm bored. And now it's like, I'm ready to kick it in gear again for the last 8 weeks of the year and sharing through my struggle. Cause I have been struggling. That's just like, that's the way it goes. You're never going to be a perfect coach. You are never going to have a perfect journey. You are not a professional. You are the girl next door who is going through these programs and transforming with the people that are transforming. You are not the expert. Yes, you learn stuff. Like I know a lot about what we do because I've been doing it for 2.5 years, but I never want to come across as the person who knows more than everybody on Instagram. I want to be the person who's still in it and still transforming and still learning and still growing and inspiring them through that. Like that's the coolest thing about what we do. We don't have to know everything, but we have to be willing to share everything and become real and trustworthy. Okay, so you have that to work on this week. If you make a post based off of this, like a storytelling post, a before, like not like a technical before and after, but like a storytelling before and after or something, send it to me. Let me give you some feedback. Tag me in it like below. Don't like tag me in your caption or anything. I'd love to look at it and see. And you'll be surprised how many people will connect with you when you're able to consistently share parts of your story. It's amazing, both on your story, like Instagram story, and posts. I think it's really important for them to hear you talk about it too. So leading into mid-November, does anybody have any like questions, could be related to this or not? Anything about conversations you're having, your next challenge group. I do want to shout out real quick. We have 3 girls already who are in Success Club, 4 including myself, which is amazing, on November 10th. Caitlin Miller, Stephanie Saunders, Meg Sloop, they're all in Success Club already, which is amazing. So, any questions for me or for each other? Nope. Okay. I also want to mention there is a diamond push of sorts for the end of the year. Our goal is obviously elite, which means that the only thing we need left for elite, which is pretty amazing, is the diamonds. So we need 5 diamonds, and qualification starts November 22nd. So that's 2 weeks away, a little less than 2 weeks actually. But it is important for people to hit diamond, like, even after that too. A couple things about that. Obviously, elite is our goal. Number 2, if you didn't see, when you hit diamond, you get a sweatshirt with your own team name on it, and this is the cutest sweatshirt I've ever owned, just so you know. And the last thing about diamond is there will be, I was talking about this at the beginning, a 2019 diamond retreat that will be held in 2020. So anybody who hits diamond in my downline in 2019 will be invited to the retreat. That's exactly what we just finished with Megan on Megan's team. But I'm going to host one in 2020 for this past year. So already Lauren and Tiffany have qualified. If it's just the 3 of us, then it will be closer to them. If more people, and more people should, so many girls, I actually wrote a list. 11 of you have the potential to hit diamond by the end of the year. Like, seriously, the potential to hit 11 of you. That would be nuts, but it's so possible. I forgot where I was going. Oh, if more people than just the 3 of us qualify, it will be more centrally located. But Kansas City has been thrown around a little bit. It just kind of depends on who's hit by that time. So you have until the end of the year to qualify for those things. And just throwing it out there, we talked a lot about this weekend. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. I don't have a lot.